this appears to be some of his lyrics for a song. And the ones I want to highlight are right here. He screamed till he choked on his own tongue and blood. His scream became a gargle as he swallowed his tongue. I believe the defendant is describing Aaron's death. His scream became a gargle as he swallowed his own tongue. If you'll remember in his to-do list, the very first one was about his music. Music was clearly very important to the defendant. And so this was a newer song, but he also had some of his older songs that he had created prior to the murder. And I've pulled one of those here. It's entitled What You Do. And I'll highlight what I think is important here. It doesn't matter what you do. Go kill someone, go love someone. You can't plan the future. God decided it for you. It's fine to think that I'm just a little toy. And if these are indicative of his philosophy, that is a dangerous philosophy. It is one that shirks all accountability. If there's no free will and everything is predestined, then there's also no consequences for actions, and there's also no reason to ever exercise restraint. And so that is a dangerous philosophy. And it also is a philosophy that doesn't demonstrate remorse. There's no remorse in that type of philosophy because it doesn't matter.
Even after all this evidence came to light in court, the defense still argues Brandon should eventually be granted parole.
The tragedy that happened that night is not fixable. And I can't begin to feel the way the Davis family feels right now. But we are here, Your Honor, for a sort of business, and that is the sentencing. Every one of their victim impact statements was very, very difficult to hear. But
his scream became a gargle as he swallowed his own tongue. Those words were not written by a witness. They were not pulled from a medical report. They came from the man who held the knife in a Georgia courtroom. Prosecutors read those lines from a song written by Brandon Risner after the murder of his best friend, Aaron Davis. The state argued he was not confessing. He was composing. And that distinction is where this case stops being a simple murder and becomes something far more disturbing. Before we go deeper into what the documents actually show, make sure you're subscribed to the VerdictOrigin, because we don't just cover the story, we follow the evidence. Imagine a house where two childhood friends drink wine on a Friday night. One of them is a scary actor, a man who pretends to be a monster for entertainment.
He played the scary characters inside haunted houses, but eventually police would accuse him of becoming the monster he once pretended to be.
Brandon is the worst type of evil, where he chose to stab Aaron to death and cause such a tremendous loss and pain to those who treated him with love.
The psychological scars from betrayal from one who we treated like a son or brother is irreparable.
We're breaking down the real-life nightmare that would put this scare actor behind bars for the rest of his life.
So he's making a reminder to himself to shower in his own shower and not the shower he used to attempt to dismember his best friend's body.
This is Inside the Crime, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Elizabeth Milner. The victim was a recent college grad with his whole life ahead of him. His family says he was heading to visit his girlfriend when he decided to stop by a childhood friend's home on the way. And what happened next would be far more horrific than anyone could have ever imagined. It's November 12, 2022. We're in Rome, Georgia, a city less than an hour and a half outside of Atlanta. Just before 11 that morning, an officer with the Rome Police Department was patrolling the area of Heritage Park when he noticed a blue Toyota Prius stuck in the water down an embankment. The car happened to be the same make and model driven by a recent college grad who's just been reported missing by his dad.
And then was going to go up to visit his girlfriend in Alabama after that.
Okay. Yeah, can you see if you maybe can get a hold of him and check in with him, see where his car is supposed to be?
I'll put you on 1021 for random evidence.
Yeah, so you just found the car abandoned there?
Yeah, it's actually off in a little ditch. We're in the process of getting it out. I don't think there's anybody in it right now.
41 dispatch today. Okay, let me call him and see what's going on. I'm sorry. This is the first time hearing about it.
Okay. Yeah, this is my cell phone number, so you can call me back on this when you find something out, okay?
All right, we'll do.
All right, what's your son's name right quick?
His first name is Aaron, Aaron.
Uh-huh.
Last name is Davis.
Okay. All right, I spoke to the registered owner. His son's supposed to be driving it. He's in the process of checking with him. Yeah, I don't think he's in there.
The other is a 21-year-old college graduate on his way to see his girlfriend. By morning, one of them is dead with 40 stab wounds.
Death for the very first time.
So a total of 40 stab wounds, 6 to his head, 4 to his neck, 21 to the torso, 2 to the left upper extremity, and 7 to the right upper extremity. There was also attempted dismemberment around his abdomen and around one of his arms and shoulder area, but we believe that the dismemberment happened after. I do have a few photos, not many, just to show some of these injuries, because I'm going to talk about the level of hemorrhage associated with the injuries. So this is the front and back of Aaron. The injuries have been labeled by the medical examiner with the letter system. And I did want to, there's significant injuries to the neck, both in the front and the back. There are also injuries down along this side. Those begin with I and go into JKL. And I'll show a different angle of those later. But I also want to highlight that there are not injuries on Aaron's hands. Aaron didn't have any defensive wounds. Aaron didn't see this coming. Aaron didn't defend himself. This was not a case of mutual combat or anything like that. He does not have any.
The other is standing at the edge of a creek, watching police pull a blue Prius from the water, pretending to grieve. That image, the killer at the crime scene, helping search for the body he buried, is the entire case in a single frame. The official report from the Rome Police Department tells the story in flat, procedural language. Aaron Davis was reported missing by his father. Officers found his car abandoned in Heritage Park. A friend named Brandon Risner told investigators he had seen Aaron the night before. They had been drinking. Brandon said he woke up around 1:30 in the morning and Aaron was gone.
Going a little more in depth about the night before.
We started drinking around 12 yesterday.
Yeah, it's you and Aaron, right?
Yeah, me and Aaron.
Okay. Anyone else with you guys? Okay.
I went downstairs, dropped a bottle, cut my pinky, and I went to the urgent care this morning. And yeah, I bandaged it up, took a shower, went to bed.
And no one else was here during that time? Do your parents live here too, or you just live here by yourself?
They do.
Okay, are they here right now?
No, they're coming back though. They'll be, I guess, maybe around 3 or so.
Okay. Yeah, so not too long from now.
Yeah.
So how long have you and Aaron been friends?
Since like, we met when I was in 5th grade.
Okay.
And then we became more like close friends, I'd say, like around freshman year.
Okay. So you last heard from him between 10 to 12 where did you sleep? In your room?
I slept in my room, yeah.
Is that upstairs as well?
No, it's the far right-hand corner of the house.
Okay, I got you. And where was he at when you saw him?
Up yonder.
Okay.
Top floor, whatever it's called.
Okay. So is it what, like a split level with like a bonus room or something upstairs?
Yeah. It's
okay.
Like a complicated house.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's hard to get a feel for the floor plan and all that. Mm-hmm. Was he talking about what's going on with him and his girlfriend, or if there's anything going on there? Or?
He never really tells me anything about it. Normally, whenever we'd have conversations, it would be about me.
Okay.
And like, even if I didn't want it to be, he just kind of would.
He didn't like to talk about himself?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. So you've been knowing him since you were in 5th grade?
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time, man.
We've gone to the same church.
Okay.
Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
Mormons.
Yeah.
I've kind of drifted away a little bit.
Yeah.
And he would drink occasionally, but he's still like staying with the church.
Yeah. So he didn't drink a lot because of that.
Yeah, yeah. So just occasionally. Yeah. So I imagine the alcohol poisoning
It's possible, yeah.
Puking like horribly.
How much did you drink, do you know?
We had the whole thing of wine.
Did you all share it pretty much evenly?
I'd say so.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we had a shot at Giggity's.
Okay. What'd you shoot?
Fire whiskey, or fireball.
Fireball, alright.
And we had some beers.
How many beers do you think you had?
Like 2.
Okay. Well, we're still trying to find him. I don't know. You know, he may just be staying at a hotel, sleeping off whatever happened last night.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean he's in danger or anything like that, you know.
Yeah.
Does he have a phone that he uses?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
I tried calling it and it just goes to voicemail.
But the report contains a small detail that changes everything. While speaking with officers at the embankment, Brandon appeared to have been crying and was emotional.
Aaron Davis is 21 years old and from Cumming, Georgia. The blue Prius is reportedly registered to his dad, Clinton Davis. His dad tells police Aaron's supposed to be heading to Alabama to see his girlfriend, and now Aaron is nowhere to be found.
I don't think he made it there.
Nah. I wonder where he's at. Why his car's down there.
The crazy thing is, there's nothing, I mean, there's no acceleration. It's almost like it just
Rode off in there or something.
yeah. Didn't go all the way up in park or something.
Yeah. Looks like it's still on, though, ain't it?
It's on.
Lights are on and the dash lights are on.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's lights on like it's, but it ain't running.
And that water ain't deep. I don't think he's in there, is he?
Here's what we learned from the case report. Mr. Davis said his son visited a friend he identified as Brandon Risner last night. Mr. Davis said Mr. Risner told him he just saw Aaron around 2200 hours on November 11, 2020, and has not seen or heard from his son since then. Mr. Davis reported he has attempted to call his son Aaron Davis, but he did not answer and it goes to voicemail. Investigators retrace Aaron's last known movements, leading them straight to Brandon's house.
6. Would that be him? Hey, what's going on?
Going good.
I'm Officer Gargle with the Rome Police Department. We're following up on all this stuff. So I know you already talked with Officer Bethune earlier a little bit and talked with Officer Stallings. Can you walk me through what's going on? Just make sure we're all on the same page.
For all my business owners, listen up. And if you're thinking about starting one, you might want to listen too. Look, running a business is tough, but why make it harder doing things manually or relying on dozens of apps that don't talk to each other? That's where our sponsor Odoo comes in. Odoo is an all-in-one business management platform with a full suite of integrated apps that seamlessly connect all of your operations, from sales and accounting to manufacturing and even shipping. Odoo can automatically generate professional, sleek-looking sales orders, invoices, and vendor bills. And it can automatically assign sales teams, send emails to each sales stage, and even use AI to pull reports that help with your decision-making. For manufacturing, their apps can sync inventory with real-time production and purchase updates so you never run out of stock. And when it comes time for accounting, that's also fully automated. Odoo can create invoices, track expenses, and even summarize data with AI to save you hundreds of hours. The best part, you can choose your apps and even build custom workflows so it's fully tailored to your business needs. Take your business to the next level by consulting with an Odoo expert today for free at odoo.com/ITC. According to the case report, turns out Brandon was already at the embankment where they found Aaron's car. The report says, we began to search the area for Aaron Davis, but were unable to locate him. While on scene, I made contact with a male later identified as Brandon Risner. Mr. Risner stated he was friends with Aaron Davis and that he was missing. Mr. Risner also stated that he was last with Aaron Davis at his residence of Redacted the night prior. Mr. Risner said he remembers waking up around 1:30 a.m. and noticing that Aaron Davis was gone from the residence. It goes on to say, during
Not searching, not frantic, already emotional, already in mourning.
At first, nothing appeared out of the ordinary until officers went to the room that Aaron was staying in.
There's a significant amount of blood next to the bed, too. Decent. More than just vomit. All the way over here. Looks like it's been there a while, but he could have been throwing up blood, I guess. It looks like it too. See all that? It's weird to be throwing up blood like that. Not to mention, if he had alcohol poisoning, he wouldn't have been able to get up and move around this morning. Especially at 2 or 3 in the morning. Yeah. Yeah, on the side. That doesn't add up. Still wet. He's been pouring that powder stuff. Yeah, I got some. You want some, or you want me to just open those up? Nothing. Do you need to secure a warrant for the rest of the house?
The performance had already begun.
The sheets are in here. Yeah, there's blood on them.
Now, officers noticed cleaning supplies, sheets that have been removed from the bed, bodily fluids, and blood. Just as officers seem to be onto something, Brandon makes a move that changes everything.
He's running, dispatch. Westbound on Collinwood. Driving south on East 9th. Down East 9th off of Collinwood. Hurry up, 47, I lost you. You still got eyes? Dispatch, we lost him. Brick house, corner of East 9th and Collinwood. Where's your last eyes, 47?
The prosecution would later reveal what Brandon was doing in the hours after Aaron's death. He was searching for sheets and blankets. More than 20 searches.
Web.
So this is on November 11th, Friday. At this point, Aaron is dead. The defendant has already killed Aaron. And he is searching over and over for sheets and blankets. More than 20 searches for sheets and blankets. What he's trying to do is find a replacement for the sheets and blanket that Aaron is ultimately going to be buried in. He's trying to find a replacement set so that the bedroom will appear unchanged and again to cover up his crime. These are his searches on that day continued. And I'll highlight just a few of them. Professional stain remover. Does Walmart have duct tape? Schizophrenia symptoms. Hydrochloric acid. Best secluded locations. How to drain washing machine. And more searches for the sheets and blanket. And all of these indicate that he is trying to cover up his crime. He's looking for stain remover to try to get the blood out of the carpet. He ultimately does go to Walmart later that day, around 6 p.m., and he does purchase duct tape, and he uses that duct tape to wrap Aaron in the blankets that he's ultimately buried in. Hydrochloric acid is famous because Jeffrey Dahmer used that on some of his victims. That was a search that the defendant made. Best secluded locations. Ultimately, he buried Aaron in a secluded location, so that was part of his search of what to do with the body. So at this point, he has not buried Aaron because he doesn't have the duct tape and he hasn't found the location yet. And how to drain a washing machine, we know from officers that the next day they're going to discover bloody sheets in the washing room. And so he's already concerned because he's been using the washing machine to try to clean these things. Also, in between his searches to cover up his crime, he's also watching videos from No Country for Old Men, which is a horror movie that focuses on a murderer. That's the main character, and his violent crimes and as he goes out. And one of the videos that the defendant specifically watches is a scene where the murderer has been injured and he needs to go to a pharmacy. So he blows up a car to create a distraction to go into a pharmacy. The defendant was also injured at this time. He's later going to search on for what to do about the cut on his finger. But just interesting that in between all of these searches about what to do with his best friend's body, he's also watching videos from a horror movie about a violent killer.
He was looking for stain remover, duct tape, hydrochloric acid, how to drain a washing machine, best secluded locations. He was watching scenes from No Country for Old Men, studying how a fictional killer created a distraction at a pharmacy. And in the middle of all that, he wrote a to-do list: vacuum, laundry, shower in my shower. The prosecution lingered on that last line. Aaron was dismembered in the guest shower. Brandon was reminding himself not to use the same one. That is not a confession. That is logistics. But the most damning piece of evidence was not a search history or a shopping list. It was a song. After the murder, Brandon wrote lyrics that described a man screaming until he choked on his own tongue and blood. His scream became a gargle as he swallowed his own tongue. The prosecution argued those were not fictional words. They were a description of Aaron's final moments. A medical examiner had already testified that the majority of Aaron's 40 stab wounds showed evidence of hemorrhage, meaning his heart was still beating. He was alive.
Most of the marks on here are color-coded. And what that means is that Aaron was alive when this happened. And for the majority of these horrific wounds, Aaron's heart was beating and there was hemorrhage and he was alive. And then the next level of wounds shows again the orange hemorrhage, meaning his heartbeat was slower, it was weaker at that point. I will point out that these shaded areas are parts of the dismemberment that we saw in the autopsy photos as well. And again, that is believed to have happened post-mortem or after Aaron's death. Also, part of the autopsy, a portion of the small intestine was missing, and it's believed that it was removed through this area of dismemberment there. In contrast to the significant injuries Aaron had, these are the only marks that were on the defendant. A scrape or scratch here on his side, and then a cut on his pinky finger. And it may be a little bit hard to see on the screen, but there is some type of bruising on on the defendant's knuckles. I submit to you that those injuries were incurred by the defendant in the attack. Again, this is not a situation of mutual combat. This is not a situation where Aaron fought back. The defendant was the only aggressor and the only person offering violence when this happened.
He was not fighting back. There were no defensive wounds on his hands. His scream became a gargle. The phrase became a refrain in court, repeated as evidence and as accusation. The prosecution said it. The medical examiner's testimony supported it. And the man who wrote it sat silent at the defense table. His scream became a gargle. Here is the question that reframes this entire story as a thriller. What was Brandon Risner doing in the hours between killing Aaron and reporting him missing? The answer is spread across his phone, Walmart receipts, search history, a to-do list written in his own hand. He was not panicking, he was planning.
Would you like to talk in private?
You need to send somebody out to find the body.
Okay. I'll be back in just a minute, okay? All right. If y'all just have a seat, I'll be right back out with you, okay? All right, Brandon. Anything in your pockets that I need to know about?
Wallet and keys.
Have those real quick. Anything else?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna pat you down real quick, okay? Do me a favor. Put your hands on that wall over there. Sorry about that. Go ahead and have a seat. I'm gonna put these right out here on the table, okay? We'll be right back.
Brandon is held in an interrogation room, but will he finally talk about Aaron?
Before you ask any questions, you must understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before you are asked questions and have him with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you will still have the right to stop answering questions at any time until you talk to a lawyer. Okay? This part right here, this is what you're going to sign to, saying you understand your rights. I am willing to make a statement and to answer questions without having a lawyer present at this time. I understand and know what I am doing. The above statements of my rights have been read to me. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no present pressure of any kind has been used against me. I understand my rights.
I would like a lawyer.
You would like a lawyer.
He was not running. He was shopping. He was not confessing. He was composing. That is not grief. That is the method. The judge who sentenced Brandon Risner to life without parole did not base the decision solely on the brutality of the killing. He based it on the premeditation, the manner of death, and the efforts to cover up all of the acts. In other words, the violence was not a moment of rage. It was a project, and the cover up was not an afterthought. It was the main event. The defense asked for mercy. They argued that Brandon had struggled with anxiety, suicidal thoughts, visions.
Brandon, we brought him home from college last year, or was it early this year, because he was having anxiety attacks, he was having suicidal thoughts, he was having visions. We brought him home to make him safe. Try to get his medications right, whatever.
Going to call them?
I'm sorry?
Is somebody going to call his parents?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Randy's not there.
Were y'all home?
I don't think, no, we were out of town.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were in South Carolina, and got a call from Brandon this morning, around 9 or 10. Called Rachel here, and was asking about how to clean up vomit and whatnot. So they had drank. They've been drinking since noon, he said, yesterday. And he wanted, Dad cut his hand or something, so he wanted to know how to clean up. He didn't want Dad finding out that there was vomit upstairs in the carpet. Yeah. That's all we heard. Then an hour or two goes by, and the boy's mom calls us, and Aaron Davis's mom, Sarah, and asks, or so tells us that the car was found, and they don't know where Aaron is. He was assumed, or I called Brandon back like immediately after hearing from her and said, do you know where Aaron is? He says, no. I said, did you, when did you discover vomit upstairs? So I'm kind of curious why he wouldn't help to clean it up if he got drunk and threw it. And he said, well, no, he said, he went to bed around 10. He went to bed around 10. So when he got up around 1 or 2, he went up and Aaron wasn't there. He said that there was vomit. He said maybe he cut his finger or something like that. That's all he said. Then I told him to go where the car was and start looking for him. This is his best friend. He used to work for him. And meantime, we packed up. We were on vacation. We packed up and hightailed it here to try to help look for Aaron. And so we got in around, I'm just guessing, it was about 30 minutes before dark, so probably 5.
Yeah.
We got in around 5, and we were told that Aaron had run away. He ran from the house, ran from the police. No, Brandon Risner. And we set out to look for him. Found him. I'm telling you. Aaron's body is luckily there. That's all I have to say.
That with better therapy, better doctors, this never would have happened. But the prosecution pointed to a search made days before the murder one flew over the cuckoo's nest. The famous story of a man who fakes insanity to avoid prison. The implication was clear. The mental health narrative was not a defense. It was another search result.
In the days leading up to this, he had some interesting internet searches as well. One of those was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest book. It's a famous book, but the premise is that the person is going to be convicted of a serious crime, and so they feign insanity in order to go to a mental institution instead of prison. When I Get Home, schedule last 3 songs. That is a reference to his YouTube channel where he did post music. He wrote quite a few songs and performed them and had some of them on a YouTube channel. Number 2, vacuum. Number 3, laundry. Number 4, shower in my shower. That's important because Aaron was dismembered in the guest shower, so he's making a reminder to himself to shower in his own shower and not the shower he used to attempt to dismember his best friend's body. He also says to take a bath, so again, a preoccupation with cleaning, possibly to try to remove evidence that may still be on his body. And again, vacuum and laundry, these are related again to his attempt to cover up. But then he also he makes a written reminder to basically create an alibi defense via text to his stepmother, Rachel, by saying, text Rachel that Aaron threw up horribly. I think there was some blood in it. I woke up and he was gone. So he actually wrote down what his cover story was going to be in this post-murder to-do list. And we know from his phone records that he actually called Rachel that following morning. So he did follow his own to-do list in that regard. So the way notes are organized on the phone is the most recently edited appear first. So this one actually was on top of the post-murder to-do list, which means it had been edited or looked at or worked on after that. And since we know that the post-murder to-do list had been created after the murder, this also was created after the murder. This appears to be some of his lyrics for a song. And the ones I want to highlight are right here. He screamed till he choked on his own tongue and blood. His scream became a gargle as he swallowed his tongue. I believe the defendant is describing Aaron's death. His scream became a gargle as he swallowed his own tongue.
His scream became a gargle. That phrase, repeated a third time, is not just a lyric. It is a marker. It separates those who kill in panic from those who kill and then write the soundtrack. the full sentencing transcript from the Floyd County Superior Court is available through the Georgia court system. The prosecution's exhibit list includes the defendant's phone data, the search history, the to-do list, and the lyrics. Go find the document. Read the timeline of searches made on November 11th and 12th. Then answer this question in the comments. What was the moment Brandon Risner stopped being a grieving friend and started being the author of his own crime scene? Was it the first search for sheets? Or was it the line about the scream becoming a gargle? The evidence says one thing. The timing says something else. You decide. If this breakdown of the evidence helped you understand how the state proved premeditation, hit like and share this video. Subscribe to the VerdictOrigin and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next time we follow the evidence into a case the headlines got wrong.